Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, Yvonne Kraeher, Leigh Stima, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Leigh, Yvonne, and myself, with the Realm of Beings, eagerly invite you to join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Leigh, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Gretta and Yvonne, and the Realm of Beings. We're so happy to be on Transformation Talk Radio every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today, we want to talk about the mission and the purpose of the Realm of Beings. We will delve more deeply into the teachings they want to share with us about the creation of reality. How do we create our reality? Do we have control over everything that shows up in our lives? When we hear the term Realm of Beings, maybe some of us wonder who they are or how they operate in our lives. Why are they showing up now with these messages? These conversations will help you examine your life and your creation of reality. They will help you to shift perspectives and understand what you are creating in your life and how it shows up. Gretta, on our last episode, you shared with us a little bit about your early experiences with the Realm of Beings when you were a child, how they would sometimes call your name, and then later on in your life, in your 20s, you had gotten more in-depth knowledge of them through your former husband. So will you share with us and our listeners now a little bit more about your current experiences with the Realm Beings?
Thank you, Leigh. What I really want to say is about the channeling process in itself. I think that maybe our audience, some people in the audience are familiar with channeling, and other people possibly are not, or they haven't had a direct experience, which they are having on this podcast, Shifting Impressions. So there's so many ways of channeling. One way is that you intuit what they are saying to you. It's an intuition. So consequently, I'd like everybody to know that everybody has a realm of beings. Some people, as I think I said last week, my mentor would say, his is the angelic committee, okay? But everybody has one. I don't care what your personality is, you have a realm of beings. However you identify them as. Some people call them ancestors. Some people call them angels, guardian angels, and so forth. But it's all the same, just different nomenclature. The other thing is that when you intuit, it's a very strong probability that they are communicating with you. It's like a second sense you have. I shouldn't do this. Should I go to the store today? Should I not? And something tells you, I don't think I should do that today. A friend of mine was driving her car down a road and she was going to turn right and something said, don't do that. And later on, she found out when she got home that there was an automobile accident at the place where she was told not to turn. So some of us will communicate with ourselves and say, okay, that's my intuition. Whereas in very strong probability, it's your realm of beings communicating with you. Now, I asked them, what did they want to be called? My particular group. And that's how we got the name, the realm of beings. That's what they said. So I said, okay. So that's how I refer to them. So that's the name of that. The other thing is that when I'm channeling, I will intuit, or sometimes if they feel that I may miss something that they want me to get, I will hear it in clear English. They will tell me in clear English, don't do that. Or once I was facilitating for a person who was being attacked by dark consciousness magic, and I heard them say to me very clearly, chaos, which is a form of dark consciousness magic that this person was experiencing. So that was just loud and clear. Another way of me channeling is that I just hear them speaking to me, but it's not like I'm talking to the audience or talking to Leigh or Yvonne. It's just another type of hearing. The other thing is that what we're hearing here on the program is that they are talking through me. So that means that whole process is for me to step back. It's like I step deeper into myself, and then they come forward. It's like we change places. When it's like this, then I am, they're talking through me, and you can hear my voice regulated as it is now. But when they say, Greta, we want to talk, I step back and they come forward. So that's what you're really experiencing in the third segment. And you'll be experiencing that every week. They're going to come forward, Greta steps back, and then you can hear them actually talking. Now, they have to use my vocal cords to be able to produce that physical sound so that others can hear it. So my voice can change. Sometimes it may be a female realm of beings, female energy, because they're nothing but energy. And they'll come through like that. So it depends who's going to speak today, but that's the process for me. And the other last thing I want to say before Yvonne and Leigh ask some questions about that is that there's a whole process that they have to go through as well, because our energy frequencies and vibrations are slower than theirs. So they have to, when they're coming in front of me, they have to slow themselves down. So they are technically doing that. They're slowing their energy down so that you can hear what they're saying. If they're too slow, or if I wasn't carrying enough energy to handle them, to hold this energy that they have, which is tremendous, then the voice would be very slow coming out of me, like, hello, how are you? It'll come like that. But because I'm at a deep sense of energy, that when you hear them, you're going to hear a very normal tone, other than the fact that my voice has changed a bit. So that's what I wanted to share with the audience today in reference to that. And I know Leigh and Yvonne have some other questions and some other statements to say about that.
Wow, Greta, that sounds I got a tremendous lesson in channeling too. The question that popped up while I was listening, first of all, thank you for that very clear explanation, and I'm sure it's been helpful to our listeners to understand that process, because I myself at the end of the last segment, segment 3. Leigh and I had never really heard the realm come through directly. We always experience you, Greta, in your somewhat called normal voice. We haven't actually experienced that whole, the energy of the realm and the stepping forward, them stepping forward and you stepping back. So yeah, it was exciting, and it was different to have that live on on the radio. But I wanted to ask, or just talk a little bit about the higher self. Sometimes people, talk about their higher self and the guidance from their higher selves. I'm sure you've heard that term before. Is that similar to the intuition and to the realm of beings or the cosmic team? A friend of mine talks a lot about her cosmic team. I have another friend who channels through a vehicle, like through the table. Her connections come like with tapping. So things like that. Is that also part of the channeling process from your perspective and your understanding?
I would say so. When you're communicating with another force that's ethereal, they're going to come to you the best way they can, that meets your thoughts, that meets your belief system, that meets your ability to carry the energy
I see.
for
Okay,
them.
so it
So
has to be like a melding together, like one has to come down a meeting and the other one has to sort of go higher somewhere. It has to be a harmonic kind of connection.
right, because there's a merging, there's a unity,
Uh-huh.
which is interesting when we talk about unity, because we're in union with everything. So you're never, ever, and I know I'm doing 2 negatives for a positive, but you're never, ever out of unity
Hmm.
with everything that's around you. You're
That's a whole
always in
that's a
union.
whole show. The
Yeah, it
unity,
is.
the constant.
And
I
it's
think we
I
we,
know
we
it's a
better
little
we better
deviation.
make a note
Yeah,
of that one.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a whole nother conversation. You're right. But I had to say it in terms of that you're never out of union with them. We may think we are, but because it appears that way. Because see, we're in such an illusion to begin with. All of this is an illusion. And we're going to talk about that, I know, more and more as we get into the show about, what is real. What is real? What is reality? Because there's so many different types of reality.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a contemplation. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think about what is reality. We could spend a lot of time just on a personal contemplation on that
That's true.
concept
That's
alone.
true. Yeah. And our whole program is on reality. What is reality?
Yeah.
Because that's right now the realm is feeling that is so important for
Yeah.
people to understand reality, how
Mhm.
they create their reality, how they're not subjected to destiny or fate.
Right.
You
It's
know,
about taking responsibility for every step, like every step along the way, right? Just
that's it.
taking
That's it.
responsibility for your
Right.
choices and realizing that you're energetically attracting. They talk about that law of attraction that was popular a few years ago. But I do believe that that's part of the creation of reality, is like you put out energetically, like sort of like a vibe where you're going to attract situations, experiences based on what lessons you need to learn, right?
Yes, and I'd like to add on to what you just said, and we might be getting ready to go on break, but I just wanted to say before we do that, that law of attraction, it seems like it's something new, but it's been around for a long time. If those people in the audience that are familiar with Alice Bailey, she has written many, many books channeled by the individual that we call the Tibetan. And those books were written in the 1920s.
Mm.
So
Edward
it,
Casey, Edgar Casey is another
right,
one,
all
and
of that, all of
yeah,
those people.
they
So
made predictions like were like sort of like prophets, but they were just paying attention to what the messages were that were coming through their
correct,
realm of beings, whatever they labeled
all of
it.
them. Yeah.
Cryon or Esther Hicks has, they all
Hmm.
kind of famous,
Bashir.
popular.
There's a lady that sometimes I do work with her. She's a Latina, and
Mhm.
she channels as well. And when she's channeling, you can hear that she has three of them that can speak. So she'll change as well, and she does her channeling like I do as well, various in various ways.
Through
Yeah.
voices, through English or through another language. I've also heard of
Right.
the concept, and I'm sure some of our listeners have probably heard the term light language. Sometimes people actually, it sounds like a totally foreign language. So sometimes that energy comes through, or they write in like almost illegible, like, we can't recognize it as a language, but it's like their beings coming through. It's like a vibration transmission where their body is just being used as a vehicle. Basically, they're not, they're stepping out of their physical experience and letting their realm or their whatever is being channeled just kind of take over for a while, and then they can kind of step back into their physical vehicle.
That's correct. And I'd like the audience to know that when Yvonne is talking about light language, some people will call it speaking in tongues.
Oh,
That's
I've heard
another,
that before too. Mm-hmm.
various religions practice that. Various cultures will
Mm-hmm.
practice that. But the realm, or however you define them, comes through in the language of the person that they are exchanging that with, that exchanging their energies with.
Mm-hmm.
If the person is Hispanic, then they're going to speak in Spanish to that person, and that is happening all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think, Leigh, can you get us to break, please?
Yes, thank you, ladies, for that wonderful exchange. We will take a short break right now. And when we come back in our next segment, we will speak more about the mission and purpose of the realm of beings. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining us on Shifting Impressions, hosted on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. I'm Yvonne Kraeher, and we're on Shifting. Our show is called Shifting Impressions on Transformation Talk Radio. And we will be here doing this podcast every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Pacific time. And we're very, very grateful to be here with you, our audience, and Greta and Leigh and the Realm of Beings. So we, had a nice lesson and teaching on exactly what channeling is. Just want to thank Greta for that, and also invite any of our listeners who might have further questions to go ahead and call in on the number. It's on the website. And in this segment 2, we're going to talk a little bit more about the work of the realm of beings and their teachings. So we talked about the channeling, and just a little bit more about the signs from the realms. Like Greta, when you talked a little bit more about their guidance and the messages, you gave the example of like feeling like, oh, should I turn left or turn right? Should I do this or do that? Sort of paying attention to those messages and really trusting our inner voice, our higher self, our own realm, whatever that looks like for us individually. But also knowing that we're all we're all connected and we're all united as one force or one being. We're all energy. So I want to talk a little bit more about illusion versus reality. What what's your perspective on that, Greta? Or Leigh?
Illusion versus reality. Illusion is just a different type of reality. Reality, as we would think about it, people would say real. What's real to me? If I can feel it, if I can taste it, if I can smell it, it's real. If I can't do those things with it, then perhaps it's not real. Perhaps it's my imagination. You know. So there are so many realities. You have the dream reality. You have the vision reality. You have the channeling reality. So many different types of realities when you say illusion. I think as the program goes on, as we do different episodes, that we're going to be talking about illusion. Really, truly, what is it? And maybe the realm of beings can discuss that with you when they begin to talk. That would be a good question to also ask them. But I would say that it's illusionary. This whole thing is illusion. But because you can feel something, taste something, doesn't mean that that's what's happening. You just think that that's what's happening, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that is so.
It seems like sometimes people get stuck in their thoughts a lot, in that part of reality where they generate the same ideas over and over again and kind of create that within themselves, when they could step out of that and into a different reality if they really wanted to.
Well, that's because you can change your reality at any moment. Any moment. It's just like for me with the realm of beings, I think one of their missions and their purpose here, and let me say this, when I say the realm of beings, I'm not just talking about that which comes through me. I'm talking about all of the ethereal beings that are coming through people all around the world. Like right now, you see me, but there are many me's. There are many realms of beings that are speaking. And one thing they're speaking is always to talk about how we can manage ourselves inside this reality that each one of us is creating.
I feel like they really want to help us. I'm sorry, Leigh, go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to touch back a little bit, because the realm left us with a really, I think, important message last week at closing, and they were specifically focused so much on this unconditional self-love and loving yourself first, and that is not a selfish act. So can we speak a little bit about that? Because earlier you were talking about how channeling is not only, what you are doing here or what some others we may be familiar with do, but it's also about our own knowing and intuition. And some of us, perhaps maybe we don't know that knowing and that intuition is guidance from our higher self. And the realm kept saying last week, retrain yourself. Retrain yourself into unconditional self-love. So can we delve a little more deeply into that? Because I was, they said, read and talk, and you will learn more about those things. Can we just discuss that a little more?
Yes, I think, but before we begin all of that, I think unconditional love needs to be defined.
Yes, please.
Because many people, let me say this, when you're here and you're saying, okay, I love you, I love you. How I personally look at that is that, okay, this is Valentine's Day love. I'm bringing you flowers. I'm bringing you candy. I'm cooking dinner for you. I love you. And the next day or 2 days later, oh, I can't stand your guts. You know, I don't love you at all. Leave me alone. Oh, this was a mistake. All of that. But that's that I love you place. See? And so unconditional love is coming up under that. It's up under that because there are various aspects to unconditional love. Most people, one day I went on the internet, I wanted to see what were other people talking about unconditional love. And the one thing that I found that most of them were saying is that I accept the person to do whatever they want to do. I accept them to do that. So that's the concept I feel that most people feel is unconditional love. But it's much more than that. Because remember, I showed you that it's deeper. It's much deeper. When I say I love you unconditionally, that is much deeper than me saying that I love you. Also, I would like the audience to know that unconditional love is just one level. There's a level underneath that. And then there's a level underneath that. Love is deepness. How deep are you going inside yourself so that you can reach out to another person? How deep are you into you, loving you, you see? Enjoying being you.
Yeah, once I feel like, like the metaphor for me is like a cup, once that cup is full, then it can like overflow and that the love can just like ripple out and, go everywhere. But it first has to be filled up inside. People probably are looking for that love from an outside source to complete them when they don't realize how the answers are deep, deep within themselves. So this might be a good point to take another quick little break here, if you don't mind. Yeah, we'll come back and we will let the magic of the realm take over. How about that?
Sounds good. We will hear what they have to say. Tell us this week.
Yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be right back.
Hello, and welcome back to Shifting Impressions. Thank you for staying with us. We are just unconditional love. That is a very deep subject. We have more to share with you on that. So Greta, will you fill us in more? When we left before break, you were talking about there's unconditional love and then there's deeper than that and deeper than that. Can we just stay at that unconditional love level a bit longer and understand the way we can cultivate that from within? I understand is that finding the things that make you more joyful and practicing them. How do we get there?
I think it's, well, some of the things that I'm going to talk about are maybe some members of the audience are going to find that very way out there. But
way out there.
Way out there, because this is the only way that I can explain it. People have been with me, they're going to go, yeah, Greta, that's right, other people are going to go, what is this woman talking about? When I talk about unconditional love. So we got to the part that love is temporary. Love is a temporary thing. Unconditional love is more permanent. But there are 4 aspects to it. One, which everybody's familiar with, and that is that we accept the realities that another person creates. That's one thing. The second thing is that when you're loving somebody unconditionally, you're really seeing that person as you. It's a beginning. It's like the first stages of going into oneness. Seeing that person that you can't stand, that you've fallen out of love with, but still seeing that person as one with you. So that's a whole nother ballgame. Oneness. That person and I are one. There's no difference between us. And I'm not allowing, that's the incorrect word, but I'm accepting the person to create the reality that they want to create. So those are 2 things right there. So you see yourself as one with that person. The third thing is that you see your person as the force. Now that's where some people are going to have a challenge with that, because we always see the force outside of ourselves. And the force isn't. The force is inside us because we are it and it is us. The religions that we belong to set up the feeling of there's a separateness. I'm going to pray to God. I'm going to ask God to help me. It's like some people tell me it's in divine order, Gretta. And I tell them that's absolutely correct. But what the meaning of divine order is, that you are the divine and that you create the order. That is what divine order is. So now there are 3 things: accepting yourself as one with the other person, accepting that it's okay, whatever reality that person creates, it's okay. We don't have to judge. We don't have to blame. It's okay, the reality. And I see that person as the force, and I see myself as the force. Now you want to know what the force is.
Oh, hold on. I just want to say we have to accept that we are the force before we can see anyone else as the force. Yes or no?
Of course.
I mean, that's the understanding.
Yes.
Yes. So that's a big leap for many.
Yes, it is. That's why I said some people will think that it's way out there.
When you're
right.
so-called programmed your whole life to believe certain things,
yes,
just because your parents believe them and your teachers tell you you have to, like, changing that is like a big leap, like a big quantum leap almost, to be like, oh, I am shifting into a whole new, should I say reality, or a whole new impression of reality.
You're changing. In other words, in keeping with this, with the title of our podcast, we're shifting. You're shifting your impressions that you have been taught over and over and over again.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
They're deep.
We've been taught, whatever religion that you belong to, I don't care what it is, you will see that the tenets or the belief systems that are brought down through those religions, and this is not to knock religion.
That's
at all, because I see myself one with everybody's religion. See, when you see that oneness, then you see that you are one with everyone. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's like my husband is an evangelist. So his belief system or his knowingness is different from mine. And it's okay.
It's okay.
Like some days, as far as religions are concerned, some days I'm practicing Buddhism. Some days I'm practicing Islam. Some days I'm practicing Christianity, because I see them all as one.
Yeah, they're all synthesized. They're all, like, if you go back to the root of all of them, they're all based on that
That's right.
unconditional
That's
love.
right. You're absolutely correct. So it's when you say I want to unconditionally love you, I've got to see that there's no separation between me and the other person.
Right.
Because otherwise I can't get to unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get there.
I mean, that is beautiful and huge.
It is. It's very huge. But see, think of the impact of that on the earth as far as a global interaction with people globally. If each person understood the fullness of unconditional love, can you imagine how we would be living?
Unbelievable. It would be an unbelievable world, and I feel like that's where we're headed. I really do. That's exactly why the realm is having us do this podcast, and you are so determined, Greta, and I feel like I trusted my intuition to follow the guidance of, said, yeah, you've never done a podcast? Jump on it, because this is a powerful time and a powerful message. And right now, if it's a good time, I'm not sure if it is or not, Greta and Leigh. I think the audience, I know myself, I'd love to hear directly from the realm. I mean, we're getting ready to, wrap up our show in a little bit. Is it a good time for the realm to step forward? What do you think?
Sure. Everybody just bears with me for a second, because I have to, right now I'm here and they're behind. Now we've got to get ready to switch. I know usually on our premiere episode, I shifted during break. So we went a little bit further, a little bit more into discussion on the first segment of this. So we're not breaking again. So for the audience, we're not breaking. You'll probably watch me. I'm going to remove my glasses. Our producer Malia already told me. She said, Greta, you move a lot when you're exchanging, when the realm is coming. So I'm not aware of my movements. The only thing I remember from last week is two things. That at the end, because I remember it at the end because I'm beginning to come out, is that the realm talked about unconditional love. So Leigh, thank you for bringing that up again. That was great. Gave us an opportunity to talk some more about it. And we will be doing that more as the episodes go on, because you think of yourself as the force. And the force is that which created God. So I want to let you know that. That's what I mean by the force, that which created God itself. So, okay, so we're going to do that. And so more than likely my voice will change. So let's just take a few more minutes. They're going to come real quick because they know time-wise, we don't have that much time to be doing this. Okay.
So while Greta does that, it was the messages that came through were so important last week. And I loved that they left us on love yourselves. Love yourselves was what we went out on. So I'm so curious to find out what they have to teach us this segment.
Thank you, Leigh. Thank you. Thank you for bringing us back. Yes. What is it you would like to tell us? Or what is it you would like to talk about today?
Can you tell us a little bit more about how we are creating our reality moment by moment?
That's a lot. That's a lot, Leigh.
Yes.
For us to talk to you about that. There are many components to that.
Okay, can we start with the first one?
First one is thought. Most of you who have been studying what you call metaphysics know that everything starts through thought and emotion. Whatever you think, that's what you're going to get. If you think, I have no money, you're not going to have any money. If you think that I'm not loved by anybody, then of course you're creating that. So it's watch what you speak, watch what you think. We think all kinds of thoughts. We think, oh, I don't like that. I hate my job. So, if you hate your job, the only thing it can do is show you every day why you should hate it. Because you created that. Yes, you created that yourself. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? It's
Yes,
wonderful
it is wonderful.
Yes, it is. But look at all the things we create. Some of us create to go to prison. Some of us create to have cancer. Some of us create to be possessed. Some of us create to be homeless. We have all of these creations.
Those are the bad ones. What about the good ones?
Good ones. We create everything, Yvonne. Everything is created. Everything is created. Each one of us creates our own experiences. If I love my wife or I don't love my wife, I create that.
Realm, can we pivot back to those thoughts for a moment? I will speak from my own creation and experience. Sometimes I find myself with thoughts that no longer serve me, and I do not know. I realize consciously that this thought that is coming through does not serve me. However, it is still coming through. Is it a frequency vibration that I keep attracting that thought? Is there a way that when we are consciously aware of something we do not want, to change it?
Let me ask you this. Do you like chocolate candy?
Sometimes. Depends if it's white chocolate or dark chocolate.
So, which chocolate is it that you don't like?
I least prefer the white chocolate.
You don't like white chocolate?
Not so much.
So do you eat a lot of it?
No, rarely ever.
So then why do you keep things that don't serve you?
I think it's some sort of human condition. We get the understanding that we are creating this reality, and we observe and perhaps judge, maybe too often, that something is good and something is less than, and we see it, and then we do not know how to correct it.
Well, the first thing you got to do, just like you decided, if I gave you a dark chocolate and a white chocolate, you choose the dark chocolate before you choose the white chocolate because you like the dark chocolate and you don't like the white chocolate. So if it's something in your life that you don't want, get rid of it. Don't keep it. Let it go. Let it go. Some of us have relationships with people that we go into a relationship with somebody and then we say, how did I get here? How did I get here? Well, the only thing we can say is you can put yourself there. So just like you put yourself there, you can take yourself out. You know why? Because you can change your thought. You change your thought. Now, Leigh, if you want to eat white chocolate, you can say, oh, I'm going to begin to like what is it, white chocolate. I like it. So you tell yourself, I like white chocolate. I like white chocolate. I like white chocolate. And pretty soon you're going to say, oh, give me a piece of white chocolate. You see? So you change your mind. You transformed your mind and convinced yourself that I want to try white chocolate and I am going to like it.
So
That's
it's
a great
focus.
metaphor.
So the first thing, the first thing is to say to yourselves, I don't want this. Or to say to yourself, oh, I want this. I want this. But let me warn you. You can't convince somebody else to love you. You can't do that. It's up to that person. That person's created the reality to love you. You can't create the reality for that person to love you because you have no control over that person.
They have their own free will, right?
That's right, at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you call it free will. Interesting. What does that mean, having free will, Yvonne?
Well, Greta, the realm, Leigh, sounds like we're on opening up a conversation for next week, possibly free will. Can't believe how quickly this hour went, but is there any closing thoughts that the realm would like to leave us with? Because we're coming up to the top of the hour, which means we're going to have to say goodbye here very soon.
Yes, our same thing. And we're going to say it every week. Love yourself first. Greta always talks about that. Love yourself first before you love anybody else, before you love your children, before you love your husband, before you love your job. Love yourself first.
Always powerful, our transmission from the realm of beings. Thank you, Greta, very much for stepping back and sharing that with us today. Please join us next week on Shifting Impressions, hosted on Transformation Talk Radio. Ladies, do you have a closing word for us?
I would like to say something. I would like our audience to start to become interactive with us. That if there are any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to do that. That's important. Or some statements that you want to make. Feel free to do that, especially questions. And even questions to the realm of beings as well. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to personally interact with them.
I agree. The teachings are wonderful, and any question we receive will be it's for everybody. So, yeah.
That's right.
Thank
so we're
you.
going to let Leigh take us on out of here.
Thank you, everyone. Once again, we have blazed through another enlightening hour of the Shifting Impressions. Please join us, myself, Greta, Yvonne, and the Realm of Beings next week on Shifting Impressions. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week until we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with Leigh, Yvonne, the Realm, and me, Greta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multidimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.